Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Mailbag, Patreon exclusive edition. However, no Patreon sent in any questions, guys. I need you to step your game up. But everyone else benefits because I get to answer your guys' questions. In order to fill that, I decided not to cancel this show just because Patreons don't send in questions. So, you know, the more the merrier. That's what I say. So please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens videos on the internet. Also, please share this video and comment your question in the comment section below. I'm super excited to get started, so we're going to get started right now with something that I'm gonna have to break it down. So the first question comes from BTD Entertainment, and he says, "Are you saying Alshon Jeffrey's a B receiver?" Shaking my head. Where do you come up with this? BTD, thank you so much again. You guys know that I would never shy away from criticism. Instead, I think it's an opportunity for us to discuss and, you know, learn something new. So, BTD, honestly, I'm going to say that I honestly think that you are going on name value instead of production. And when I say this, this is exactly what I mean. I will show you. When you think about Alshon Jeffrey, I guarantee you're thinking about the Alshon Jeffrey from 4 or 5 years ago. And if you determine how good a receiver is 4 to 5 years ago, then you have a skewed sense of the NFL. But you know, that's just me talking. Let's go to the statistics. And so you guys can see on the screen right now. And sorry if I'm not looking into the camera. I'm looking at the screen so I can analyze with you guys. On the screen right now, I have Alshon Jeffrey's stats, and let's go to 2014. This is the last time Alshon Jeffrey was an A receiver, and there's a lot of reasons. So 2015 and 2016, Alshon Jeffrey had injury issues. Again, your best ability is availability. Okay, if you can't play for your team, it doesn't matter how good you are, right? So I know a lot of people who watch this show even in the comments below who will tell me, hey, if you consistently miss up to a quarter of the season, you cannot be elite. I know people who watch this show who've said that. I've said Jimmy Smith is elite. And people say you can't be elite if you miss, you know, games every single season. And, you know, I can't really argue with that, honestly, because your best ability is availability. And so, and also, when Jimmy Smith is healthy, he's a top 5 cornerback. When Alshon Jeffrey is healthy, he's the 8th best receiver in the NFL when he was with the Bears. Not anymore, but when he was with the Bears. But anyway, let's go to the stats. You guys can see in 2015, 8 games started with injury. Also, have to remember, he was playing across the field from Brandon Marshall, who was an A receiver at that time. We can go to 2016, where I believe Brandon Marshall had left the Bears, and now you got 12 games. He still had a good season, but again, injured again, right? So now, after his second injury, a team like the Eagles had to ask, was he a A+ receiver? Was he an A receiver? Every team in the league said no. You want to know how I know every team in the league said no? Because he had to accept a 1-year contract. I'm letting you guys know, if Antonio Brown, BTD Entertainment, if Antonio Brown was on the market right now, ain't no way, there would be no team in the league to offer him a 1-year contract. And if they did, it would be 1 year, $40 million. Right? There ain't no team in the league that will offer Antonio Brown a 1-year contract. No team in the league offers Julio Jones a 1-year contract. You see what I'm saying? No team will even offer AJ Green a 1-year contract, because they think they're A receivers. When you think someone's a B receiver who's coming off injury, you offer them a 1-year contract. Then this season, where he started 16 games, played 16 games with an MVP caliber quarterback, only had 800 yards. MVP caliber quarterback, Super Bowl winning play caller, 800 yards. That's not an A+ receiver. Okay? Again, Antonio Brown can get 800 yards in the first 7 games. Okay? Antonio Brown can get 800 yards in the first 10 games for sure. Right? 80 yards a game ain't nothing for Antonio Brown, right? So that's an A+ receiver, okay? You know, when you have the same amount of yards as Mike Wallace, and Mike Wallace has Joe Flacco, and you have Carson Wentz, that's not an A+ receiver. I'm sorry. Now, 2014, he was an A receiver. 2013, he was an A receiver. He was a second option on those teams, so his numbers could be inflated a little bit because Brandon Marshall was getting double teamed. But this year, if you say he's an A receiver and you go pay him A receiver money, he will burn you. He will burn your team. He will mess your cap up. I'm guaranteeing you. So that's why I'm saying, you ask me where I'm getting this from, BTD, this is where I'm getting this from, the stats, okay? And now, please, comment in the comment section below if you think that I'm missing something here. But I know for a fact that Nelson Aguilar had a better season than him. I know Brent Selleck had a better season than him. Not Brent Selleck. Am I saying not the tight end? I forgot his name. Is it Brent Selleck? No, not Zach Ertz. I'm sorry. Oof, getting confused. Zach Ertz had a better season than he did. Nelson Aguilar had a better season than he did. So, you know, you gotta you gotta come with something other than his name is Alshon Jeffrey. He's not a B receiver, right? So that's all I'm saying. And then another thing, let's get deep down to the weeds. You might say he had 9 touchdowns, which is a great amount for a receiver. It honestly is. But he has 9 touchdowns, right, on 57 receptions. And A receivers get 100 receptions, right? That's, again, it's easy for players like Julio Jones, Antonio Brown to get 100 receptions, right? They have only get 100 receptions in the NFL. You have to average around 6-7 a game, right? The quarterbacks in the league now throw 30+ passes a game. If you can't get 100 receptions, you're not an A receiver. This man had 57 of them, and he played every single game. That's a B right there. I'm sorry. Again, I know his name is Alshon Jeffrey, but that's not an A receiver, and that's what I was saying, where you have to do what the Eagles did and go get some B receivers and surround your quarterback with a lot of B receivers, and so that your entire team is effective. Now that we don't have in my opinion, an A receiver in free agency anymore, so sorry I was a little rough on you there, but I had to break it down. If you guys disagree, put it in the comment section below, and I might respond. So we're gonna go to the next question, and this question is from Oxymoron, and he asks, "Do you think Max Williams is capable of being a starter? Do you think Max Williams is capable of starting as the Ravens tight end this year?" Thank you so much for your question. Good question. Hard answer, man. I don't really know. When he's on the field and healthy, he looks good. I mean, he passes the eye test. Early in the season, before Patrick Ricard was really ready to be a fullback, he did a lot of fullback responsibilities, and he did them well. He was lead blocking for people. He did it well. He showed that he can catch, break tackles, and get down the field. He showed that he has the skills. But again, your best ability is availability. Okay? If you can't be there for your team, sorry, you're not one of the best, right? Again, so, and this goes from anywhere. It's not just football, guys. You guys know, me, I work in a place, my job, I do a lot of financials, and reporting to big wigs, right? And I could be the best Excel guy in the world, right? I could be the best, I don't want to say our financial systems, but I could be the best Excel guy in the world. If I only come to work 1 day a week, sorry, we gotta let you go, right? Your best ability is availability, and Max Williams is not available, and because of that, I would have more confidence trying to get a Nick Boyle, even though he has man, it's just injuries everywhere. I don't even. Oh man, from what we have right now between Max Williams and Nick Boyle, I think Max Williams is more talented right now. I really do. But I would feel better if the Ravens go get a tight end out of free agency or the draft because, again, he's undependable, and you need to be able to depend on players in the NFL. I think it's a good question with a hard answer. Right now, I would say out of what we have, he is the best person to start, but I don't think he's the best solution in the NFL right now. So we're going to go to our next question, and this question comes from Speedy Reedy 1218, and he asks, thoughts on getting Cushing to add to our linebacker depth? Again, good question, hard answer. You guys are asking some really good questions today. And I would say I like Cushing. I like him a lot. Smart, physical guy. The issue is that the reason he's so smart is because he's old. He's seen everything. And when you're old, you come with a little bit of limitations. Injury prone, right? He has had some big injuries in his career, which adds to his football age. You guys don't know, football age is your real age plus the injuries that add on to your age, right? So, for example, Brashard Perriman is young, but his football age is about, I don't know, 125, because he's, always dealing with some injuries, something. I mean, this man, he's been injured on every part of his body, okay? It's like the game where, you're the doctor and you have to try to use the tongs to pick stuff up the body. That's what this man is like, right? And so his age is higher. And I think Cushing is kind of getting to that point where, man, he's going to be a step slow. He's injured. But he's a leader. And so you have to think, and the question that the Ravens have to ask is, Peanut Antoine a better solution than Cushing at the price? There's a lot of things you have to take in. First, you got to take in the price. Peanut's going to be cheaper. The ability to play special teams. Peanut can do that better. The ability to already know the system. Peanut has that advantage as well. Chemistry. Peanut has that advantage. Brian Cushing, he's seen everything in the game. So, smarter player. A better leader. You have to take that into account. Again, and not just a leader, right? It's easy to be a leader. Well, I won't say easy, but you can be a leader when your team is a bad defense. The Texans have been consistently one of the top defenses in the league, really. And so it's a hard decision to make. If I was a GM, I go Patrick Antoine, and I stick to that. You have Kamale Correa, who needs to step up. Correa, you are a forgotten man. Come on, let's get out of witness protection and let's step up. That's what I would do. I would leave Brian Cushing. Correa has to step up. So that's what I would say. Good question, hard answer, but I would say stick with what you have. Don't go get a defensive player out of free agency and burn that cap space when you know you need it for your offense to become better. And guys, this is the last question of today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And this is from one of our consistent people, always in the chat, watching the videos. Shout out to Marcus. Oh, shout out to Speedy as well. Same thing. We really have a group. BTD asks a lot of questions. So this is really an A group of people that we have on this mailbag. So Marcus asked, what are your thoughts on the Ravens signing Marquise Lee and drafting 2 receivers? Thank you so much for this question, Marcus. And I think you got it. I think now the drafting 2 receivers part, I don't know. It depends, because it's not a strong receiver draft this year. But the Marquise Lee part is on point. Not only on point, on fire. Marquise Lee is a type of player that you want. Okay, you don't want an Allen Robinson who's going to be overpaid, right? And really put up the same amount of production as Marquise Lee. 100%. That's just what it is. So Marquise Lee is going to be a fair value pick. Was a B- to C receiver, B- to C+ receiver. I would say Allen Robinson is a B+ to B receiver. Marquise Lee is a B- to C+ receiver, but he played with Blake Bortles. Okay, and so it's the opposite of the Tom Brady effect, where you play with Blake Bortles, your numbers are gonna be worse. So if you give him Tua Joe Flacco got a chance to do something really good with that young man. So I really like Marquise Lee. He's one of those B players. If you can get Marquise Lee, Tavon Austin, and you know you got to get another receiver. I don't know, but if you get Marquise Lee and Tavon Austin, and though they do a kind of the same thing, but Marquise Lee can play outside and inside. Tavon can really only play inside effectively. But now you have two B receivers who can be your returner, so you don't have to carry a player like Campanero, who only plays 4 snaps on offense. You don't have to carry, you know, gives you so much flexibility. B receivers. Now you feel that when Joe Flacco throws the ball, you know, he won't be throwing the ball to a C receiver, because what the Ravens have had is Mike Wallace was a B. Last year, Jerry Maclin was a C receiver. Everybody else under Jerry Maclin was worse, right? So you have Brashard Perriman, who was an F receiver. You have Chris Moore, who was like a D receiver last year. Campanero, C-. And so if you can upgrade, those are major upgrades, right? Getting 3 to 2 B receivers, maybe getting 2 B receivers in free agency and drafting another receiver. I mean, you take a big step up. So I think you're right on cue with this Marquise Lee analysis, Marcus. The 2 receivers may be too much. It's a weak draft, and also you have to address tight end and offensive line as well. So I would say if you get 2 free agents that are B level, go get a receiver in the draft. Again, don't make the mistake the Ravens made last year and pick an outside linebacker where you already have 3 on the roster, and you skip Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Because that's what happened, and it hurt our heart. And I know you guys don't remember this, but instead of picking Juju Smith-Schuster, who instantly came on to the field as a B receiver, we picked Tyus Bowser, who didn't start a game. So it is what it is. But I think you're right on point, and this is the end of the Mailbag segment for today. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to the Ravens Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, Patreon subscribers, go to your Patreon page and drop some questions in. This show is really for you because we want to answer your questions as often as we can on a weekly basis. So please drop it in there. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.